hearing of the Neighborhood Jobs and Housing Committee to order. This public hearing of the Neighborhood Jobs and Housing Committee to order, and I ask the clerk to call the roll.
Councilmember Patterson.
Here.
Councilmember Leslie Smith.
Here.
Councilmember Lupien.
Here.
Vice President Harris. President. Okay, she's excused, and President Melendez is excused.
All right, so kind of how the way hearings work is that because this is a committee hearing, the only people who are expected and required to be here are council members who are members of the committee. So we are effectively joined by everyone who's a member of the committee except for the president and the vice president who are excused. So the three council members you see before you are the three council members who are members of this committee. Little housekeeping. The bathrooms are in the back and to the left. Real easy to find. What we're going to ask is we have to, Dr. Shanae Lee and her organization purchased the food for this evening, and they purchased the food again last week, Thursday. So we just want to thank her for that. So if everybody can just always clap for the food, always clap for the food. So that's there. The way this is going to work is we have a list of folks who've signed up to speak. We'll call your name. You get 2 minutes to speak. If while you're sitting here, you suddenly feel inspired to speak, no problem. Just going back outside, sign up to speak, and we'll put you on the list and you can come up to speak. This hearing runs a little different than how we normally do speak to council, because with this hearing, we allow council members to ask questions. So council member, if someone says something, you got a question, just ask. We leave room for dialogue, but we are going to respect your time, and we're not going to try and keep everybody here all night. So with that said, clerk, if you could call the first speaker.
Matt Drawing.
Yes, is this thing on? Yes, it is. Can I speak now?
Yeah, you're good.
Okay, all right. Good evening, members of City Council. My name is Matt Drew, and I have been a developer, housing provider, and city resident for over 20 years, and I'm here to support the sale of 88 Kirkland Road to the Rochester Academy of Science Charter School. I am pro-housing in all manner, shape, and form. Low-income housing, middle-income housing, high-income housing, but this property should be reactivated as a school. Number one, you probably heard this argument, is it's already a school. This building was purpose-built for education. It already has a cafeteria, gym, auditorium, library, and playground. And most charter schools don't have that luxury. They're working out of strip malls, office buildings, industrial spaces, and even old churches. But I'm not going to talk about that. What I'm going to talk about is actually the logistical challenges with converting a school to housing. All right. I was just at a groundbreaking ceremony for Gateway Apartments downtown. That is a project that has been 6 years in the making to even break ground. It's probably going to be another year and a half before residents actually have keys in their hand. So, Canal Commons on Canal Street, which is a neighbor of mine, that was an 8-year project. We already have an operator that has a proven track record, has full enrollment to start in fall, already set up. And they have the funding, they have everything there. If we decide to not sell this school to Rock-Si, we're going to be bogged down with years and years and years to find a development partner and to locate the 12 to 16 sources of funding that each of these projects need in order to become financially viable. That is a huge development risk, and if any one of those sources gets brought off track or they lose it, then the project gets put on ice. So right now, we have low-hanging fruit when it comes to providing educational options in our city, and therefore I support this sale. Thank you.
Jamie Hill Daughtery.
Thank you. Good evening, council members. Thank you for the opportunity to speak tonight. My name is Jamie Hill Daugherty, and I proudly serve Young Women's College Prep as its Director of Student Services. When I spoke last week, I shared that I work directly with the special education students and teachers in our school. However, the scope of my work also extends to students who have Section 504 plans and those that are English language learners. And it is to advocate for all of them that I would like to speak with you tonight. Right now, YWCP is supporting a diverse group of young women with real demonstrated needs. 37 of our students have IEPs who require specialized instruction and individualized support. 15 of our students are English language learners who are working hard to build both language and academic skills. And 31 of our students have Section 504 plans who rely on accommodations to fully access their education. That is a total of 83 students, which makes up 23% of our student population who receive accommodations to support their learning within our school. 75 of those students, or 90% of all YWCP students needing formal specialized learning support, come from the Rochester City School District. These are not just numbers. These are students whose success depends on a school environment that knows them, supports them, and adapts to them. And that's exactly what YWCP does. But space is needed in order to successfully and comfortably provide these students with the support that they need. Each time a teacher gives a test or a quiz, several extra rooms are needed to give testing accommodations that often don't exist. Small groups taken out of classes have a hard time finding a place to go. Approving the sale of School 20 to YWCP would help to remove these barriers of success for our students. Thank you. Please vote yes.
Megan, is it Ruler or Pooler? Okay. Deborah Dennis. Deborah Dennis? Okay.
Good afternoon. My name is Deborah Dennis. I have a student at Roxai who we transitioned from the city school district. My daughter had plenty of struggles before the transition. She had struggles all the way up until last year, to be honest. But it has been a work in progress, and it worked because the teachers, the staff, were able to build that connection with her and were able to provide the stability she needed in school. The instability without a home for our school has caused more stress. Last summer, that was the topic of every conversation. Where is the school going to be? Where is the school going to be? That is not fair. She'll be a senior next year, and still the topic today is where the school is going to be next year. I think it is very critical that they have a stable place to be. I have a 9th grader that will also be in the school next year. And for the next 4 years, I don't want to wonder where the school is going to be. Thank you.
Lauren Faramani Smith.
Good evening. My name is Lauren Faramani Smith. I am the social worker at Roxai High School. I've been there for 2 years, and overwhelmingly I am struck by the resilience that our students have and their families have despite the challenges that they face. Our students and our families absolutely believe in the mission of Roxai, that we're preparing these kids for not only careers, college, but we're also preparing them to be contributing citizens, hopefully, of this city. We want them to be well-rounded, and we want them to embody our values of inclusion. We have a small but very mighty staff who work with or without resources on a daily basis. That's not what's first and foremost in their mind. What's first and foremost is the kids. I want to make sure that not only as a social worker, I am helping to meet their mental health and emotional needs, but we're also able to connect our families to resources, to all the benefits that students have when they have a permanent location, a permanent school. Our students are going to thrive with extracurricular activities, and that's something they just really can't do right now because of the space. I want a space, and I think our families want a space that is equal to the worth of their children. Rather than sitting in a building that's not theirs, these kids deserve a space. And if the concern is an investment into the city, These kids are our investment into this city. They will be what makes it a place that people want to be. Thank you.
Keisha Burke. Latoya Stewart Fox.
Good evening. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity to talk again. Keisha is my daughter. I stand before you today as a parent, as someone who believes deeply in what you all ran on: equity, opportunity, and investment in our children and our communities. Right now, you're being asked to decide the future of School 29, but this is not just about a building. This is about who we choose to prioritize in our city. Because while we debate what this building should become, there are students right now, Rochester children, who don't even have a place to call their own school. Students at Roxai are sharing space and navigating challenges just to access their education because they don't yet have a permanent home. A shared space at Bishop Kearney where they are forced every day to decide whether they can go outside to play or they can sit and eat their lunch comfortably. And to make this personal, after COVID, my daughter faced many academic challenges, especially with reading. Like many children, she needed extra support and confidence. But Roxai didn't give up on her. They believed in her, they worked with her, they built her up. Today, she is more independent, she's confident, she's thriving. That didn't happen by accident. That happened because of the intentional structure, care, and support at Roxai, especially for those who need it most. Schools like Roxai are designed to remove barriers and help students succeed with strong outcomes like high graduation rates and being college ready. So when we talk about using School 29 for something else, I understand the need. We all do. We think about housing. But we cannot solve one challenge by overlooking another. So I ask you, please reconsider voting yes for Roxai.
Marshana Jones Himes. Marshana Jones Himes.
Good evening. My name is Marshana Jones Himes, and I serve as the Business Office Manager at Young Women's College Prep. I would like to speak briefly about the importance of ensuring that our students, our young women, our future leaders have access to a dedicated school building within the city of Rochester, where the majority call home. Many of us in the room have experienced what it means to feel supported during our adolescent school years. And unfortunately, many of us knows what it feels like to not be supported. We know the difference that family presence, community engagement, and accessible opportunities can make in a student's life. Right now, as many of you know, our middle and high school students attend school in a shared location in Greece, where nearly 90% of them live in the city of Rochester. That distance creates real barriers. It limits family involvement at events, conferences, and volunteer opportunities, not because families don't care, but because access is difficult. For many of our students, consistent support is already a challenge, especially in a city where poverty rates remain among the highest in the nation, and many families are residing in the hardest hit zip codes. Young Women's College Prep is uniquely designed to serve young women in a way that is not currently being offered in Rochester City School District. Our students deserve to learn in an environment that is built for them, one that is not only academically supportive, but physically accessible to their families and communities. They deserve a school building in their own city, a space where they can gather, grow, host events, and fully experience all that education has to offer. A space where families can show up and engage and be present throughout their journey. This is more than about a building. It's about equity, access, and opportunity. I urge you to consider the impact this decision will have, not just today, but for the years to come, for the young women that we serve. Thank you.
Dennis Jamin. Dennis.
I already spoke multiple times. All I need is school building for my students and my parents. My students are here. I think the most important people in this room is the parents and the students. So thank you.
Dr. Carla Hatley.
Good evening, council members. I'm Dr. Carla Hatley, the Director of Student Wellness and Support at Young Women's College Prep. I have been there for 5 years. I was born and raised in the city of Rochester and understand the importance of neighborhood schools. Today I stand before you not to ask for anything, but to activate my faith and to thank you in advance for your support. So I stand here to say thank you for understanding that YWCP is currently functioning at the maximum capacity and is in desperate need of expansion. Thank you for understanding that a permanent, dedicated school building brings a sense of stability and community that allows a school as community framework. I say thank you for understanding that a stable building location impacts students' emotional health and promotes feelings of belonging. I say thank you for understanding that a bigger space will allow community partners to offer support services for our students within our school building, eliminating transportation barriers. So thank you in advance for voting yes for YWCP acquiring the former School 20 and making that our new home. Thank you.
Zaluma Gomez.
Good evening, council members. My name is Zulema Gomez, and I have a child at Roxai. And this morning I heard a story on NPR. It quoted a local leader talking about this process of the city selling property to charter schools as facilitating the decline of RCSD schools, the enrollment, and referred to this process as also helping the competition. And as a parent, that made me really sad because to me, it demonstrated the further lack of understanding that district leaders have of the many reasons why parents leave traditional schooling models. For our family, this happened after a lot of heartbreak, a lot of midnight conversations with my partner, conversations with my son, when we realized that we couldn't find the right fit for our artistic son without a more inclusive admissions process within the district. And so we looked around, and what we found was Roxai. And Roxai is not artistic leaning, but we found that it does support the academic goals that my child has, and we can support the artistic side in other ways. And he is thriving. We are happy to say that he is thriving at Roxai. As a partner, as a parent, I want to say to district leaders, to city officials here, I want to partner with you. I want to figure out how to increase enrollment at RCSD also, because I also believe in public schools. In the meantime, we have to support our children now and their educational home. Our children need more accessible campuses, more inclusive campuses, and so I ask you to vote yes in partnering with charter school families and children. I don't have to tell you that an educated constituency increases the overall health and wealth of a community, and that's all we want for Rochester. Thank you.
Logan Weimer.
Okay, so last time I was at one of these meetings, I spoke, and I didn't think I'd have anything to say today, but I reconsidered, and I realized that I do have a pretty interesting view, since I think I might be the most affected by the distance of Roxai to my home, because I usually have to leave my house at 7:48 in the morning, and then I arrive at around 5:30 or 5:20 at night if my parent, or like around evening time. So that's like a long time. I have to wait on the bus, and there's multiple kids like that too, because I'm the last stop on my bus. There's also many other kids that have the unfortune to be the last stop on their bus. And I think if we could just move over the location to the city, which is where the new school will be, I think it would help out a lot of students, and we wouldn't need 6 buses because it would all be in one central location. So the public transit prices, if we have to pay that, would probably go down, and the bus distances and times would be cut down, which would be amazing. So yeah, it's just, you don't have to think about just the school part. There's so many other things that if you were to move the school to school, whatever its number is, I cannot remember it, but yeah, it'll just help out so many students in so many ways. Please reconsider voting yes, and I think that would help out every single student and teacher. Thank you.
Marco Ramirez.
Hi, my name is Marco Ramirez. I've been a staff member at Rockside High School for about a year. Currently, I'm a lowly hallway monitor. And I'm glad I didn't speak last week because something I can do very well is complain. And I've heard complaints about everyone, all the students, all the staff members, everyone. It is not without merit. Of course, all the kids are going to complain about their teachers every time they call to attention, stop talking, this and that. But it's potential. I've seen these kids grow, change, grow up, mature. And it's in a building we rented, and in the previous building, it's tiny. Every passing period is like a train going by. First floor, second floor is like a train. Nowadays, it's like a California freeway at 9 in the morning. It's terrible. I wish we could have a proper building to call our own so we could mold to our needs, so we can mold to what our students need. So we don't have to ask 4 people if we can go outside to the basketball course or use the gym. So we don't have to like see if there's anybody outside so we can be in the same space that they are. It's frustrating beyond belief every single day, the things that we have to put up with just because we don't have a space of our own. And the teachers are fantastic, somehow working with what they have, and the students are fantastic as well, just putting up with it. I cannot count how many times I had to kick students out of the cafeteria because we only have 20 minutes to eat. They have to wait 20 minutes just to get their meal. Like, how are you going to say to a child, you need to throw it away because you need to go back to class? It's ridiculous. And the bus thing is also incredible. No amount of complaints is going to change the Ontario bus routes. And I'm hopeful to a new building that we can call our own, that we can mold to our needs, and just be happy. Thank you.
Christine Shuttleworth.
Good evening, council members. My name is Christine Shuttleworth, and I am the instructional coach at Young Women's College Prep. I am here to respectfully ask you for your approval for our purchase of the former School 20, because quite simply, our students belong in the city they call home. The majority of our young women and their families live right here in Rochester. When their school is located within the city, it's not just more convenient, it's more equitable. It means that if a student misses the bus, she still has a way to get to school without a $40 Uber charge. It means parents can come more easily to attend conferences, events, and celebrations. It means families can truly be partners in their child's education, not just supporters from a distance. A city-based location also allows us to expand what we offer. More after-school programs, more clubs, more opportunities for our girls to receive academic help after school. But more than that, I want to emphasize this. Education is not a one-size-fits-all. While some students succeed in large high schools of over 1,000 students, many do not. Young Women's College Prep is a small school, under 400 students, which allows us to truly know our girls. Our teachers don't just teach students, they build relationships that last. We check in on former students, we celebrate their successes, and when they struggle, we welcome them back. In fact, I once had a student who made the decision to leave our school for a larger district high school. I wished her the best, but told her that we'd always have a place for her. Not long after, she returned because in a larger environment, she felt lost. Here, she was seen. Here, she belonged. That's what we offer, not just education, but community. Not just instruction, but connection. Not just a school, but a place where every girl matters. Families deserve choice, our girls deserve access, and our community deserves schools that meet the diverse needs of its students.
Miss.
One last thing.
Miss.
This building was
Miss,
built to be a
Miss,
school.
Miss.
Let it be a home for our girls.
Thank you.
Ismet Manu. Okay. I'll circle back around. Umar Hyatt.
Good evening, council members. My name is Umar Hayat. I'm a math teacher at Rockside and also one of the founding members of this school. I have been part of this journey from the very beginning. I want to share why this matters so much to me. I come from very poor background in Pakistan. My parents did not have resources to get me good education, but I was fortunate enough to get access to education. And I finished my high school in Pakistan. After that, I went to Turkey to do my BS in aeronautical engineering. After that, I went to UK to earn my master's degree in education. And I see that most of my students, they also have big dreams, as I did have. That's why I'm sharing my story. At Rockside, I really see them thriving. If I take this opportunity and highlight on academic achievement, in my first year of teaching algebra, passing rate was just 18%. In my second year of teaching algebra, passing rate jumped from 18% to 52%. This shows that Rockside is really thriving academically. And this also shows the growth of our students. They can achieve everything, whatever they want, if they have support, what they need. Respected jury members, Rockside is not just a school. In fact, it is more than a school. It is a safe place. It is a community. It is a source of hope. Our students are thriving because they have teachers and staff who believe in them. I will just try to wrap up. I would like to request those jury members who said no to school number 29, please reconsider your decision and say yes to school number 29. Give an opportunity to Rockside to just have a home of building number 29. Thank you so much for your time and consideration.
Mustafa Gosek.
Good evening, council members. Thank you very much for giving us this opportunity and hearing the cases made here by parents, students, and everyone involved. I'm one of the board members at the Rochester Academy of Science Charter School. There is clearly sometimes misunderstandings about charter schools, what they do, how they do. One of them was mentioned by one of the parents earlier, that the charter schools select students. In fact, the schools don't select students. Any students who apply get on the list, and if there are more students who apply, there's a lottery. So there is no selection process. We serve the same student body as the city schools, as clear in the numbers as well. All of our students come, great majority from the city. But there is at the same time a proven track record of success. For the same group of students, there is a greater amount of graduation rates, test scores. Then what makes the difference? How do these schools achieve a different level of success? I would just like to highlight a couple of these uh, items that bring success to these schools. One of them is the school culture, that we focus on a success-focused, love-focused, a community-focused school culture, and we have achieved that in our schools. Data-driven interventions. There are so many ways that our students receive additional support, but all of this is based on the constant analysis of data, benchmarks, test scores, etc. And finally, the parent-teacher-student triad has been a part of our key performance indicators. And as you can see, the proof, I think, is tonight and the previous meeting, where the parents and the students take their time and effort to come here and to make the case for a home for their schools. The charters don't receive any aid for buildings. And I strongly believe that the charters also focus on contributing to the city schools.
Sir?
This model. This model becomes an example for
Sir?
city schools as well.
We need you
Thank
to
you
end.
for hearing us, and please give our kids a home. Thank you.
Jennifer Allen. Jennifer Allen. DJ Lowry.
Good evening, council members. I am Daoud Lowry. I am a junior at Roxai, and I would like to provide my thoughts. Like this? Okay. From the beginning of the year, the thought on everyone's minds was when we would get our own place. And it was also on my mind too. But throughout the year, I realized that the fight isn't just about us, the students now, but it's also about the future students too. I can speak for myself as well as everyone else that we want a safe place to learn and grow at, but we also want a place to call our own. So I really hope that you guys reconsider and vote yes for Roxai and vote yes for our education.
Sean Maguli? Okay, you said no? Okay. Kim Martinot.
Good evening, council members. My name is Dr. Kim Martinot. I'm here as a resident of the Southwest Quadrant, a taxpayer, a voter, and a science educator. I have mixed feelings about being here tonight. I find it unacceptable that these students, almost 500 kids from the city of Rochester, have to beg for a building in their city on a school night for the second night in a week. I think that should be embarrassing to all of us. But yet, seeing them show up, participate in public discourse, and fight for their education is really inspiring. This is something I barely even see in my own students at the graduate level. Last week, we heard directly from students and parents what their daily reality looks like. A bus from outside of the city, they walk in the back door of another school, they have a lunch period where they can barely eat, gym time is an afterthought. And I have to say, I'm not a big proponent of charter schools. I'm a public school kid. I learned English in public schools. I was put in remedial classes because I didn't know who Christopher Columbus was when we just moved to the U.S. I think it's a sad reflection on the city that the need is there, and it's clearly there. And I don't think these kids should suffer the consequences of the city's failure to educate them. And we're not here to debate those failures. These kids found a solution that works for them. There are no votes are standing in the way of them having a home. I think the housing argument is a serious one. It's not the one for this site. This is a purpose-built school, has a gym, cafeteria, classrooms. I think for the council members, you're all here as community leaders. You have succeeded in your education. Please let these kids have the same. Don't cut them off at the knees. Let them have a front door to walk into. Thank you very much.
Joseph Baroni. Joseph.
evening, council members. Can you hear me okay? Yes, hi, my name is Joseph Barone. I'm a Rochester native and a city resident. I'm a staff member at Roxai High School, and I'm very happy and honored to be speaking on behalf of these students. They're wonderful, wonderful students. They're energetic young individuals. They're energetic young city residents, future city residents. And I'm sure all of you remember your high school years and how challenging they are and how dramatic they are and how much is going on in your life at that time. But having to go through those years in a second-class situation where you don't even feel like you belong in the building you are meant to go to every day to receive that education, to go through those hard years with additional hardship on top of that, these kids deserve a lot of credit. If the city of Rochester does not want charter schools in the city limits, maybe legislation should be enacted to prevent that. But to allow schools to have a charter and then to make them function under stressful, duress situations. Our ceilings in 2 classrooms were leaking all week. They continued to pour water down into a bucket next to a student trying to learn geometry. If you don't want charter schools, don't have them. But there's something profoundly immoral about allowing them to exist and then forcing them to function in substandard second-class citizen situations. These kids deserve a home. They deserve a feeling of belonging. They deserve a sense of self. These are city residents. This is not about the Board of Education or the success or failure of the Rochester City School District. This is about these individuals. Thank you.
Mr. Lowry.
Good evening. Good evening. I was sitting back there and I was hearing a conversation about the school and housing. I don't know if it's just me, but I know everywhere I look at it, I see new homes being built up from scratch. Why would you convert a school, a building that was strictly made for education to make housing? I mean, come on now. We have a lot of things we can attack in the schools. That doesn't make sense to me. All right. I mean, there's something going on here. There's something going on. I mean, I don't know about y'all. I mean, y'all had school. I had a school, high school where I grew up. It was mine. Still there, but it's not under the same name. These kids need the same thing too. I mean, they need home. They need a home. My son is DJ, and this is his first experience. This is my first experience being a parent, and I'm doing great. But now, right now, this is like a school. We're talking about housing and school, education. Education and money. That's what basically turns to. Education or money. Come on, man. I'd rather go for the education more because look at this world now. Look at it. There's nothing happened as far as the judges, the crime rate is high. You know why? Lack of education. Lack of education. Give these kids opportunity to learn, okay? Don't just, let's go get this free money over here by throwing all these kids up here. It's all about money when it's really about education. I don't know where we're having this conversation at, but it doesn't make sense. Education, money. Money was here before we got here. It's going to be here when we gone. Okay? Education is everything we need. And these kids have it. They have a place where they can be fed that opportunity. Thank you.
Annie Hassler. Annie Hassler.
Good evening. My name is Annie Hassler, and I've been the proud school counselor at YWCP since 2014. It is my professional home, and I thank you for the opportunity to speak on behalf of our school community regarding the potential future home of YWCP. We are a small, tightly knit community. I know without a shadow of a doubt that we have successfully educated and graduated students whose journeys and accomplishments were made possible by our individualized support. While I know this to be true, I also know that we are not without our challenges. One of these challenges is location of our building and our shared space. I am also YWCP's McKinney-Vento coordinator. I assist students and families facing transitional housing situations. I work with them in their home districts to ensure access to transportation changes so that their temporary housing status will not impact their school attendance. Unfortunately, changing bus routes can take up to a week. We can provide RTS bus passes, but many families do not feel safe having their child travel alone on an RTS bus for over a half an hour with multiple bus transfers. Many of our families in temporary housing cannot afford Ubers and do not have personal vehicles. I believe this barrier would be reduced if we were located in the city of Rochester, where 91% of our students reside. Our students want a building closer to their homes so they can more easily access our after-school programs and athletics. They want a space to call their own instead of sharing a gym with elementary students and being limited to one middle school bathroom and one high school bathroom. They want less congestion in the hallways and the ability to have pride in the building they step into every day. Their signatures of support are located on these signs, and they send their hopes and wishes for a new school building. These may seem like small examples, but we would receive numerous benefits with the purchase of 54 Oakman Street. I thank you all for your time and consideration.
Angel Fields. Angel Fields. Anthony? There's no last name.
Hi, I'm Anthony Ford. I'm a product of Rochester City School District, first of all. And I have some anti-movements with the charter schools, so I may not be popular. First of all, somebody was on the radio talking about charter schools and talking about that the kids want to come back to the city from the suburban schools. I don't think that's going to happen, first of all. And then the other question would be the what ifs. What ifs when the charter schools run out of money, they decide to leave and upleave those buildings? What's going to happen with those buildings? Second thing is, the kids take a bus all the time. They take a bus in the city all the time. They go from one place to the other. And it is a half hour to sometimes even longer getting to their place. They talk about safety. Part of the reason why it's safety, you got 10% of the kids in the city school district that keep acting up all the time in the building. You need to find some place to house those individuals because they're the ones creating all the havoc. Let's see. I happen to be a dad girl, so I'm going to say I take pride in my daughter. We keep talking about school safety. School safety is because of those 10% of individuals that keep acting up in the building. We need to do something with them. On Oakman Street, they did have a place housing for those individuals who did act up in the building, so that they were placed there with all the facilities they needed to calm those individuals down. Staff was abiding to them and everything else. And I don't believe, I'm going to say this in all my heart, I don't think the folks who are in the suburban schools are going to rush back into the city just because they opened up a charter school here. So if somebody's thinking that, I think you're on the wrong ship. That's my anti-movement.
Keisha Burke.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Keisha Burke. I'm an 11th grader at Rockside. I'll be part of the first graduating class. We are growing so fast, we urgently need a place to call home. The teachers care about the students, and they're giving us a lot of opportunities for sports, even though we don't have the space. Just vote for Rockside.
Wait a minute, Miss Burke. Wait a minute. Come on back. Come on back. Who's that lady standing with you? Okay. Thank you.
And this is Kiara, her sister, and Imari, who just stepped outside, is a student.
All right. Thank you.
Laquana Sparkman.
members. I am the Director of College Counseling at Young Women's College Prep, and I'm coming on behalf of the students with some very great news. And I want them to continue the success in their new place. So, out of the 59 students that we have, I want you to know that this report is minus one student that we unfortunately lost due to her battle with cancer. But nevertheless, I know that I'm still going to include her in these numbers. So the first thing is 75% of all of our young ladies will be the first in their families to attend college. This year I had over 586 applications from our students. That's an average of 10 plus applications per student. I also want you to know that in terms of the places that they've applied, 73% have applied to SUNY, 23 have applied to New York State private schools, another 28% has applied to out-of-state schools, and these are all the successes that our students are participating in. Not only that, they're participating in college fairs and different things around our community. And I want this success to continue because they feel at home, they feel safe, they feel wanted, and they feel loved in that space. Thank you.
Aja Hunt.
Hi. Hi. My name is Ajay, and I'm a sophomore at Rockside High School. Today I'm here to represent and support my school. We deserve to have the opportunity to have our own permanent building, so the future leaders in our school have access to the best educational setting possible. Although we're grateful to be in the shared building with Bishop Kearney, we face unnecessary disadvantages. Limited to no gym availability due to it being Bishop Kearney's, we have 15 to 20 minutes for lunch periods, not to mention the inconvenience of us having to transition from our segregated area to Bishop Kearney's cafeteria. Our facilities do not have access to air conditioners. We have multiple water leaks from the ceiling in various classrooms. Can you imagine having to prepare for your Regents exams while sitting in these conditions for hours? That it could be fixed. A new building offers my student body to have the chance to succeed. It offers us to have the chance to have pride in having something to call our own. This future of ours falls in your hands. My future, their future, Rochester's future. Allow us to have the prospect to shine. Allow us to have that opportunity to reach our educational goals. Thank you.
Christasia Divine. Christasia.
Hello, my name is Christasia McCarthy Divine. I am also a 9th grade student at Rochester, Rockside. But it's my first year there and everything, but ever since I've been there, it's a very good school. And our teachers and our principals, they do think highly of us, and they do try their best to actually put us out there. And again, with the schedules and sharing the school with Bishop Kearney, it is a little struggle, especially with limited physical education and the shortage of lunchtime. And students, again, it's my first year there, but it's certain students that have been there ever since they started there. And again, graduation is going to be coming, and I think it would be an honor if we did have our own building, just so we can have that memory and that purpose to actually celebrate our purpose and what we have accomplished. So yes, I know some of the council members did say no, but it really would be a blessing to the school itself, because we do really work hard. We do, and it would just be good. But that's all I have to say. Thank you.
We're just going to check and see if there's any other speakers signed up. Wow. So I'm going to stall. So I just want to say, look, to all of to everyone who's come up to speak, thank you for coming up to speak. If I interrupted you, it's because I'm trying to be fair and keep to the rules. It's not that I didn't want to hear you. I just kind of had to keep to the rules. To you students who came to speak, I'm just so impressed with y'all. I don't know what to think. Some of y'all couldn't see it, but there was one student that came up to speak, and she was on her tippy toes. That was just the coolest thing in the world to me. I know it's really hard to speak in public, and to be as young as so many of you are to show up and speak in public is just so impressive. So I thank you for your advocacy. Madam Clerk, do we have anything? Hang on, let me just check real quick. We got any other speakers? All right. So, council members, questions. Councilmember Lupien.
I just wanted to echo your words. I am a teacher in the city school district, and I really feel the words of the kids who came tonight. It's a lot to show up to. And I'm sure you didn't know much about city council before this. And you know, it's intimidating, and you really showed up, and it shows your passion for your school, and just the positive effect that this experience has had for you. So I thank you all for coming. I thank the parents and everyone else as well, but especially the kids.
Well, I'm in support of school choice, and I don't have quite the right green on today, but I wore my YWCP green, and I am very hopeful that my colleagues will not just hear, but actually respond to the voices of the students, the parents, the faculty members, our constituents here in this community. These school buildings were intended to be schools, and we should allow them to remain schools. And some of the things that I heard in terms of transportation and shared space, and just the last young lady who spoke, who talked about having a sense of commitment, affinity, and pride to the school building that helped raise you, that's something that I think we have lost. I graduated from Benjamin Franklin High School that has been so many different names since. There's no high school reunion, and kids need that sense. Communities need that sense. They need that commitment for people to come back. Even if you leave the city, you come back and you give to that school, you give back into that community. And so us being able to allow these buildings to go to these schools, I think will create that sense of connectivity to our city. And so as you all are graduating and going off to college, come back to this city, be members, residents of the city of Rochester, bring those middle-class jobs back here and contribute to the tax rolls here, and continue to see us building a city that everyone can thrive in. Thank you.
So, before you go, let me give you guys a little quick recap. So, the council members who voted yes for the sale of number 20 are myself, Councilmember Monroe. President Melendez was a no, but it was a strategic no so that we could bring it back. We had Council Vice President Harris, and we had Council Member Gruber. So, we got one more speaker. Bring him up. Let's go. Where they at? Young man with the red shirt and the hoodies, come up front. We got you, brother. Come get it. There he is. I knew if I just stalled long enough, I'd get me another speaker. You all right? You got it. There you go.
Okay, so at Rockside, we are in the building with BK. A lot of the time in BK, with a lot of the school, with a lot of the classrooms, there's things like the roof is leaking, or there's like loud stomping on top of us to where it interrupts our learning, or there's things where we can't use certain facilities because BK is using them, or we can't have as much time as we need for certain days because we have to adhere to their schedule. So So having our own building and being able to have our own opportunities to do what we want and what we need to do would be very amazing for not just the students that go to Rockside now, but the students that can go to Rockside, especially knowing that I have a sister that goes to the elementary.
Okay, so as we get ready to wrap it up, we just want to remind you that if there's any food downstairs, we expect you to take it home. So grab a sandwich, chips, whatever's there, take it all, please. And, you know, it's a school night, so y'all get on out of here. Thank you.